Well, hello everyone, my name is Zwiggojr and welcome back to something a little bit different. We now have merch available as well. You can click the link in the description that will take you to the merch website where you can buy hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, pillows and much more. We have some very unique designs from the Mudkip squad up until the flaming ponyta. If you love drinking, buy a mug. If you love sleeping, buy a pillow. If you like walking around in public, buy a shirt or a hoodie. Today we'll be taking on Pokemon Platinum, but not with a usual team challenge. It's more of a speedrun kind of challenge. If any of you guys have watched jrose, you will know that he has been beating Gen 1 with every single legendary Pokemon and see which one is actually the best and how fast you can actually do it. I thought it was a very interesting idea and I thought maybe I should try this in a different generation. And since a lot of people are a little bit sick of Gen 3, I think Gen 4 is a pretty good way to start. If you've read the title, you will know that I will be beating Pokemon Platinum with just Dialga. If you take a look at its stats, Dialga has a whopping 150 special attack, which I found weird because I thought that somehow he was a physical attacker. The rest of his stats are very solid as well, so I don't think we will have any problems, but that's not the challenge in this video. We're going to see if we can complete this game super fast. World record of the fastest speedrun of Pokemon Platinum is currently 3 hours and 40 minutes, but that's with a regular speedrun, so no Dialga. Since I'm not really a speedrunner and I have no idea how to speedrun, I think I can still do pretty well. I of course want to challenge you, the viewer, to beat my time at the end of the video, and if you're a YouTuber yourself, maybe you can post a video about it and we can see who's the best here. If you guys really enjoyed this video, I would love to do this with other Pokemon. I would love to do it with Palkia, so if you guys can smash 4,000 likes, I'll do Palkia next. Also, don't forget to subscribe because apparently only 20% of the people that watch my videos is subscribed. Because we're trying to hit that 100k before the end of the year. So with that out of the way, let's see how fast we can beat Pokemon Platinum with only a Dialga. We start off the game by naming ourselves Cyrus because he's the one that wants to take over the world with Dialga, and let's just say we want to do the same. Our rival is going to be a watch because we're going to be watching our time a lot in this playthrough. The first thing we of course do is put our text speed to fast and turn off battle animations so that we can do this as fast as possible. We go ahead and pick our starter. I of course go for Dialga and my rival has a Chimchar, so eventually he will have an Infernape, which will be good against our Dialga. Luckily we only need 2 Dragon Breaths to take this Chimchar down and we get 69 XP. Nice. Just like in my no encounter run of Pokemon Platinum, this time we're going to have to encounter 0 Pokemon, because if we encounter a Pokemon, that's going to mean that we will have extra time, which we can easily avoid. So until I have access to repels, I'm gonna have to save before every grass patch and reset if I encounter a Pokemon. We then give our Dialga the nickname Big Ben because he's basically just a big clock since he created time and all that shenanigans. We then do the unnecessarily long catching tutorial with Dawn, which is going to give us a big chunk of time. I then encountered a few Pokemon in the grass, so I had to reset until I eventually got out. Eventually we do get out of the next city to have our next rival battle. Our Dialga is only level 6, but still he's way too strong for his Starly, 2-shotting him, and we got a critical hit on the Chimchar to one-shot that thing, which is a lot of time saved right there. Critical hits in these kind of runs are always welcome. We then travel to the Orkberg mine, and after my 56th attempt, I finally reached Rourke without encountering any Pokemon, since repels aren't available until you defeat the first gym. It's then time for Rourke, our first gym leader. That was quick. I went into it with a level 8 Dialga, which is very low at this point in the game, but still we could 2-shot his Geodude with Dragon Breaths. We can also 2-shot this Harsnag because I looked up his entire team's moveset and nothing that he has is super effective or even neutral effective to my Dialga. So everything he throws at me is basically not very effective. With that, we come to his last Pokemon, Cranidos, which we 3-shot with Dragon Breath because he used the potion on him, and we did also paralyze him, but that doesn't really matter. We have our first gym badge, very quickly. To avoid later time loss, I will capture 2 HM Pokemon right now, a Bidoof and a Starly. Later on, I will also capture a Tentacool, and that should be it for HM Pokemon. We then of course head to the Valley Windworks. That is the next thing on our map, and we have to fight an entire planet. Luckily, the planet isn't as good at Pokemon battling as you might think, as she starts off with a Zubat who I can Dragon Breath paralyze first turn. She then gets stuck in paralysis, and next turn we take it out with a Metal Claw. Next up is a Fat Cat who starts off by hitting us twice with a Fake Out and a Feint Attack, but our first Dragon Breath that hits paralyzes it immediately, and then we only need 3 more Dragon Breaths to take it out and win against an entire planet. We then travel across the forest with Sharon, and we get the Soothe Bell, which we will never use. Then exactly at 1 hour and 1 minute, I have reached the 2nd gym, which is a pretty long time already. I mean, the world record is only 2 hours and 40 minutes away. And I'm not going to lie, this was probably my first big roadblock of the challenge, because I had to retry this fight a bunch of times because I went in paralyzed and I didn't want to lose time by going to the Poké Center. Because I was paralyzed, I of course got outsped by her entire team, and I also couldn't hit them sometimes because I was stuck in paralysis. Eventually though, Big Ben broke through like the big clock he is and shredded Turtwig with 2 Dragon Breaths while getting hit with only a Grass Knot and him setting up a Reflect. Next up was Cherim, who missed its Leech Seed and then set up a Safeguard, so no problems, right? 2 Dragon Breaths and it's down and out. And last up was Roserade, who hit me with a Grass Knot with 1 Dragon Breath, and then a critical hit Dragon Breath to take it out was all I needed. Now it's time for the next commander fight, but that basically went the same as the last one, except the Perugly was swapped out for a Skuntank, but still it took 3 Dragon Breaths to take it down, and the Zubat took 2. I then go straight to the bike shop to pick up the bike so we don't lose more time, and I go to Mount Coronet to talk to Cyrus. So Cyrus talks to Cyrus? What? We arrive in Hearthome City, go straight to the contest hall to talk to Fantina, and go to her French gym. But this wasn't as easy as it sounds. Because I want to do this in the shortest time as possible, I have to not fight any trainers in her gym, which is very hard because her gym is very dark and you have to traverse through some paths where trainers are always lurking around the corner. Luckily, after spending about 20 minutes of resetting, I was finally able to reach the Croissant Lady. At 1 hour and 90 minutes, I could finally start on my 3rd gym badge. First Pokemon is a Duskull, which is a 2-shot with Dragon Breath. This Magius is a little bit of a different beast. It is able to get off some very good damage on my Dialga, but still 3 Dragon Breaths do take it out. Last is Haunter, and it hits me with a Shadow Claw, which is a physical attack, and my defense is just too high, and Haunter's physical attack is absolutely non-existent, so 2 Dragon Breaths and it's out of here. With our 3rd gym badge in our pocket, we can head on to the next rival battle. He starts off with a Staravia and setting up a double team turn 1, but my Dialga now knows Ancient Power, and we managed to get the boost, so an Ancient Power Metal Claw takes down the Staravia. Even with the boost, we cannot one-shot the Monferno. We do paralyze it, but it hits us with 1 Mach Punch before it goes down. Weasel also gets one-shot by a Dragon Breath, and last up is Roselia, who somehow tanks another Dragon Breath. I mean, I know I'm not that high level, but a +1 150 base special attack Dragon Breath should kill a Roselia. The next segment took a little bit longer because you have to walk a very long way, and there are some trainers that you cannot avoid. I also got stuck in Maylene's gym because I didn't really know the way that well, so we can finally start the battle at a time of 1 hour and 42 minutes. I was afraid of 2 things in this run: Bertha and Maylene. And I was actually right to be afraid of Maylene because I couldn't beat her at level 28 with my Dialga. I tried and I tried and I tried, but by the time I got to her Lucario, my Dialga just didn't have enough HP to survive an attack. The only way for me to defeat the Lucario in 1 hit was to get some boost with Ancient Power and hit a super effective move, but I only had not very effective moves. So I went to the local store and got myself some TMs. One of them was Fire Blast. Since Lucario is part Steel type, I thought this is a great move to have right now. So with that, my Dialga is also level 29 because I had to go back out of the gym and back in, which cost me a lot of time, but it was the only way to take down Maylene at this level. I had to get the ancient power boosts as well because otherwise Lucario would just outspeed me and kill me, and you know, ancient power boost is also great for some extra defense. Eventually I did get my boosts on the Metatite on my second attack, and then I was able to one-shot it with a Dragon Breath, one-shot the Machoke with a Fire Blast, and outspeed the Lucario and one-shot with a Fire Blast as well. We then go to the next town, which is famous for the Safari Zone and Crasher Wake. But of course, the first thing we have to do before we take on the gym is our rival fight. Watch still starts off with its Staravia, which we now one-shot with an ancient power. Next up is Monferno, and that thing was able to hit 2 Mag Punches, leaving us with only 21 HP because our Dragon Claws weren't doing enough damage yet. And he was also 6 levels higher. Weasel managed to hit the Aqua Jet and the Pursuit, leaving us with 8 HP, but 2 Dragon Claws still managed to kill the Weasel. Last up was Roselia. Fire Blast doesn't have a lot of accuracy, but we do hit it and kill our rival. We then finally reached Crasher Wake with 2 hours and 12 minutes on the clock. The time that it took me to go to the Pokemon Mart and get those TMs and go all the way back through the gym really took a big chunk out of this one. Crasher Wake himself was honestly a pretty damn big problem because all of his Pokemon, except for Floatzel of course, are very bulky. And the second Pokemon, Quagsire, is a ground type, which for my Dialga isn't great of course. So the thing I had to do was get another boost with Ancient Power, or maybe even 2 if I got really lucky, to eventually take down this mighty wrestling beast. Eventually I was able to beat the Quagsire, but then I got stuck on Floatzel with 1 HP, so it just Aqua Jetted me and I was down and out. Eventually I got super lucky. I was able to hit an Ancient Power, do half, hit another one, and then get my boost, and he was left with a few HP. Then he healed up, I hit another Ancient Power, and on my 4th Ancient Power, I got a second set of boosts. With that, I was now bulky enough to easily tank a Mud Shot from the Quagsire and kill it with 2 Fire Blasts. Floatzel managed to hit me, which left me with 23 HP, but a Fire Blast and a Dragon Claw was able to take it out and win our 5th gym badge with only 2 hours and 15 minutes on the clock. We then experience another terrorist attack on the Safari Zone for the millionth time. How is this thing not blown up yet? We get some pepper spray from Cynthia and we go ahead and find some ducks to spray that in their eyes. Pokemon, why do you have to be so cruel? We then travel to Oldale Town where there is another Team Galactic goon trying to blow up some ruins, but luckily we can stop him and then we have to fight his boss, Cyrus. Luckily he wasn't a big threat. We can Fire Blast his first Pokemon, Sneasel, we can use Ancient Power twice on his Golbat, and finally was Murkrow, which it pains in my heart to kill because I found a shiny in my Platinum Randomizer Nuzlocke and it died, but we have to kill it, so 1 Ancient Power takes out the crow. After defeating the blue-haired freak, we get the EHM for Surf, so now we can swim across the waters. We go straight to Canalave City to fight our next rival fight at 2 hours and 41 minutes. And since I didn't want to go to the Poké Center, my Dialga is already a bit damaged and hasn't gotten all of his PP, but we can Ancient Power Metal Claw his first Pokemon Staraptor to take it out. And since we got the boost, this fight will be an easy cakewalk. Next up is Infernape, but because we got the boost, we now outspeed. We do get hit with a Brick Break, which does a lot of damage, but 2 Dragon Claws do take out the Fighting Ape. Heracross of course goes down to a single Fire Blast. Floatzel is able to hit an Aqua Jet and the Swift, doing barely anything, so 2 Dragon Claws take him out as well. And last up is Roserade. Luckily the Flower Girl can't take a lighter to the face, so a Fire Blast takes it out and burns down the whole bridge. Next up is Byron and his Steel types. We get to him at a time of 2 hours and 55 minutes. Luckily his Steel types are weak to my Fire Blast, so his first Pokemon Magneton and second one Steelix both go down to one of those. Bastiodon is a little bit more bulky, so I go for the Fire Blast. It doesn't even do half, so I know that I have to hit an Ancient Power and get the boost in order to be able to defeat him. Luckily that's exactly what I get, and one more Fire Blast with this special attacking boost, we take out Byron. We now have 6 gym badges, it's time to take on the lakes. We did try to learn Roar of Time, but I thought it's a recharge move which is only going to hurt us, so I didn't learn it. So we go to the first lake, which is led by Commander Saturn, starting off with a Golbat. It does go down with 2 Ancient Powers, and on our second one we got our boosts. I did also get the TM for Flash Cannon from Byron, so now my Dialga knows that as well. Since in Toxicroak I go for the Fire Blast and miss, so next turn I go for the Flash Cannon, which hits and takes it out. Last is Bronzor, who is weak to Fire Blast, so that thing is down and out as well. One leg down, time for the next one. Next up is of course Mars, who starts off with a Golbat as well. I go for the Ancient Power, then take it out with a Flash Cannon. After that is Bronzor, that thing can't take a Fire Blast like last time. But then Perugly comes out. It starts off by hitting me with a Fake Out, so I flinch. It then hits me with a Slash while I hit a Flash Cannon. Then it puts me to sleep, but luckily I'm only asleep for one turn and I can take it out with a Flash Cannon after that. Not the smoothest fight, but it's okay. After that, it's time for one of the largest parts of the entire run, the snow. It makes you walk super slow and you have to fight a lot of trainers in this area. Luckily, I found the fastest way through, picked up DTM for Rock Climb, and went straight to Candace's gym. Right now we're at a time of 3 hours and 26 minutes. But still Candace has an Ice type gym, so we can one-shot her Sneasel with a Flash Cannon, one-shot her Piloswine with a Flash Cannon. Abomasnow goes down to a Fire Blast, and last up is Frostlass, who does hit a Blizzard, but it isn't enough, so another Flash Cannon wins ourselves our 7th gym badge. We then see how Watch got his ass whooped at a lake. He almost wanted to jump in, but I had to save him at the last second. We then go back to Veilstone City to listen to a stupid speech of Cyrus himself. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I bet it has something to do with that you can join our Discord server so that you can talk with me and a whole community of people. So go ahead and join up and talk to us. After the speech, we go ahead and challenge Cyrus once again, one-shotting his Sneasel with a Flash Cannon, hitting the Crobat twice with Ancient Power to take that thing out as well, and getting a critical hit on his Honchkrow as well to take it out in one hit and get the boosts that aren't even necessary. After that, we get the Master Ball, which we will never use. Maybe I can sell it to make some stonks. Next up is Saturn, and we of course shred this man to pieces as well, killing his Golbat with 2 Ancient Powers, Toxicroak with 2 Flash Cannons, and finally Bronzor with a Fire Blast. We set free the Lake Trio and go to Mount Coronet. Mount Coronet is probably one of the hardest things to still. Eventually I made my way to the top of Spare Pillar to do our double battle with Mars and Jupiter. Dialga is now level 47, which is not too bad, and we have Watch on our side. Luckily he can Fire Blast one of the Bronzors to take it out in one hit. Next out comes Skunk Tank, and that thing is actually pretty bulky in special defense, so it takes me 3 flamethrowers until the skunk is down and out. Next out is Golbat. We can hit 2 Ancient Powers, Munchlax then gets taken out. He switches in Staraptor and kills the Bronzor with a close combat, and I take out the Golbat with 1 final Flash Cannon after hitting it with 2 Ancient Powers. Perugly then takes down the Staraptor, but I can take the Fat Cat down with a Dragon Claw and a Flash Cannon. Last is Golbat, and that gets killed by an Ancient Power and a Night Slash from the Heracross, and now we can see how Dialga and Palkia work together to create a new world, but they actually summon Giratina, the arch nemesis of Arceus. And me and Cyrus jump in the portal. After traversing through the Distortion world, which wasn't easy because I barely know this place, we can eventually find him and defeat him in a Pokemon battle. But Cyrus being Cyrus, he isn't going to let us pass very easily. Yet again, we have to rely on our Ancient Power boost, because else the Gyarados would absolutely shred us with Earthquake. It also doesn't help that the Houndoom almost always uses Will-O-Wisp to burn my Dialga. Weavile can always outspeed me, so that's kind of annoying too, but the rest of his team is pretty much a cakewalk for me. Eventually my Dialga was able to get the Ancient Power boost on my first attack on the Houndoom, and the second one took him out. Gyarados is next, and that thing is able to get off an Earthquake, but we're left with 78 HP, which is more than enough, and 2 Ancient Powers do take down the big Schneck. Weavile fakes me out and hits me with an Ice Punch before I can take it down with a Flash Cannon and an Ancient Power. I then killed the Honchkrow with a Flash Cannon as well. Luckily, my boosted special attack is able to finish Cyrus off with 1 more Flash Cannon. With that, we can now challenge Giratina, so it's Dialga versus Giratina. Who's gonna win? Dialga, of course. He's a steel type which resists ghost type moves, and dragon is neutral on me, so we shredded Giratina. Next destination on our list was Sunny Shore City, where we have to fight the leader Volkner and his electric types. But even though that Dialga does resist all of the attacks, this still wasn't that easy of a battle for me to win. I still had to attempt it about 12 to 13 times. The biggest problem on his team was a Raichu, which has Focus Blast, and if I don't get my Ancient Power boost, it does one-shot my Dialga. I eventually also got to his last Pokemon, Luxray, but I had barely any health remaining, so he easily one-shotted me. Eventually though, I was able to get my boost on my first Ancient Power on his first Pokemon, Jolteon. Then I was able to get him down into red health, he healed up, and then I hit him twice more to get maybe another boost, but I didn't get it, but the Jolteon was down and out. After that, I was somehow able to one-shot the Raichu with a Dragon Claw, and then Electivire came out, which looks very thick in this game for some reason. I was still able to tank a Dragon Claw, but he hit me with a Fire Punch, which barely did anything, so one more took it out. Last up is the electric line Luxray. Luxray, just like his Electivire, also went down to 2 Dragon Claws, and then it's time for us to clear Victory Road and go up to the Pokemon League to fight our rival for one last time. But he won't let me through so easily. He does have his Infernape, which basically can do a lot of damage to my Dialga. But he also has a Snorlax with Earthquake and a Heracross with Close Combat, which is very scary. So yet again, I'm going to have to rely on my Ancient Power boosts, which is something I would rather do than overlevel. Definitely in a challenge where it's a race against the clock. Luckily, I was able to two-shot his first Pokemon, Staraptor, getting my Ancient Power boost on the second one. I then hit a Dragon Claw on the Infernape, and he missed his Focus Blast, which was crucial in this fight. I then go for another Dragon Claw to take it out. Heracross gets killed by a Fire Blast, and Floatzel gets two-shot by Dragon Claw. Next is Snorlax, and we get a critical hit with Flash Cannon, which was also crucial because otherwise it wouldn't have one-shot and we would have gotten hit by an Earthquake. Finally is Rose Rage, which as always gets one-shot by my Fire Blast. We can then start at the first Elite Four member, Aeron, with a time of 5 hours and 23 minutes. Which for a non-speedrunner I think is pretty good. Aeron starts off with a Yanmega, so I go for the Ancient Power, which is 4 times super effective, and of course it isn't gonna survive that. Heracross gets absolutely scorched by a Fire Blast. Vespiquen is another thing that's 4 times super effective to Ancient Power, so he's down and out as well. Giratina is a bit of a different beast, tanking a Fire Blast, but it doesn't really do any damage to me, so one more takes it out. Last but not least is Scizor. We get hit with an X Scissor because I missed my Fire Blast, but after that we can of course one-shot it. Next up is the second hardest battle of this entire run. Yes, second, the hardest is yet to come. It's Big Bertha. I would want to say that her team was not that hard to take down, but it really is. She starts off with a Whiscash, which is something I really don't have anything against. I checked and Dialga can't really learn any grass type moves. I tried learning it Grass Knot, but it didn't have any of it. Gliscor is of course another big threat on her team, and Hippowdon can tank a lot of hits too. Her last 2 Pokemon, Rhyperior and Golem, are no problem with Flash Cannon of course. So of course the only way to win this fight was for me to get a few more Ancient Power boosts and sweep her team like that, since I didn't really have any attacking boosting TMs available to me and I didn't want to leave the Pokemon League. So what I tried to do was go for the Ancient Powers. I got 1 boost, I then hit it with a Flash Cannon for some reason because I thought special attack is better than Dragon Claw, which is physical, but eventually I did go for the Dragon Claw to take out the Whiscash. We then somehow managed to one-shot the Hippowdon, one-shot the Gliscor, one-shot the Golem, and then of course one-shot the Rhyperior, so now we can head on to the third Elite Four member, Flint. Since he has a lot of fire types, I really didn't have a lot of problems with him winning on my first try and getting my Ancient Power boosts on his first Pokemon, Houndoom. I then had to 3-shot the Infernape with Dragon Claw while taking a lot of damage in the process, which was very scary. I then used Ancient Power on the Flareon twice as well to try and get another boost, but I wasn't able to, and my Dialga leveled up to level 60, and he tried to learn Earth Power, and I was debating of getting rid of something, but I didn't do it in the end. So then I proceeded to kill his Rapidash with some stones and one-shot his Magmartyr somehow with a Dragon Claw. I have no idea how I did that. Next up is Lucian, which has Psychic types, and they're all bad against me except for Gallade, so I get a critical critical hit on his first Pokemon, Mr. Mime, to take it out of here because it's way too creepy. Next up was Gallade, and I went for the Flash Cannon, but it didn't even do half, and we got hit with a very hard hitting move. I then went for the Flash Cannon again, got the critical hit, and we took it out, so that's the only threat down and out already. Bronzong, of course, couldn't take a single Fire Blast. Alakazam got killed by a single Dragon Claw as well, and last up is Espeon. We hit a Dragon Claw, it isn't enough, we barely get any damage to us by the Espeon, and then we get a critical Dragon Claw while he heals up to take it out, and we can now head on to the champion, Cynthia. And you know when I told you that Bertha was the second hardest fight in this game? Yeah, Cynthia of course was the first. The biggest reason is because I had to basically get 2 Ancient Power Boosts or get crazy luck to be able to beat her, because Garchomp outsped and one-shot me with Earthquake. The same thing with Lucario and his Aura Sphere. Besides that, she also has a Togekiss with Aura Sphere, which is not good, and a very bulky Milotic. Well, eventually I was able to beat Cynthia, and I didn't even need the 2 Ancient Power Boosts for some reason, because I got super lucky. I defeated the Spiritomb by setting up some Ancient Powers, then going for Dragon Claw while she healed up, and then killing it with the Flash Cannon. I then got a critical hit Dragon Claw on the Garchomp to not take any damage from his Earthquake, which was great because normally he would survive this. Next up was Lucario, and I hit my Fire Blast, so he is down and out as well. Next up was Togekiss, who I can normally never one-shot. She hit me with an Aura Sphere doing a crazy amount of damage, but my Fire Blast got a critical hit which took it down as well, so that's 2 crucial critical hits in one battle. Milotic then comes out, who isn't able to do any sort of significant damage, so 2 Dragon Claws take the big Schnick eel thing out. And last but not least is Rose Raid, but it's actually last and least because it can't touch us and the Fire Blast absolutely shreds it. So that is Cynthia defeated, and let's see how we did. How fast did we beat Pokemon Platinum with only a Dialga? My final time was 5 hours and 48 minutes, which is 1 hour short of being placed number 10 on the leaderboards of the Pokemon Platinum World Record Run. So I think if I keep on practicing with these runs, and eventually I might be able to scratch like another half an hour off of them, I'll be doing pretty good. So as I said in the beginning, definitely challenge me and send me your best times on Twitter so that I can see if you can beat me or not. Also, if you're a YouTuber, I would love to see you try this and make a little bit of a competition. So with this very fun video out of the way, I want to thank my Patreon and membership supporters as always. Also, if you are debating on becoming a member, we now have a Pixelmon server where we will be hosting on a tournament in the upcoming weeks. So if you want to grind up for that tournament and want to be in a stream with me and the other Swamp Squad members, you can member up right now. The link is in the description, or you can click the join button. And as always, people, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'm Zwiggo, and I'll see you guys next time.